And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is My Two Cents, and welcome to the May Patrons Hangout. This is going to be in lieu of, there will not be a 2-day with 2 cents this week. Unfortunately, I don't have time to get both streams in. But once a month, or at least once a month, we've sometimes done it twice. I hold this stream for anybody who donates to me on Patreon, Subscribestar, or Bitbacker. Just come hang out and chat. So for those of you watching the stream, I will be keeping an eye on the chat, and we'll consider what you have to say, but this is pretty much for my patrons to discuss whatever they want to. And I will say, although we can go into serious topics like I usually cover on the channel, it's sometimes nice to just have these conversations be informal and not so serious, but whatever you guys want to talk about. So I put it to those that are here. What's on your mind?
If we're too serious all the time, life isn't fun. That's all
Very
I'm going to
true,
say
man.
right now.
All work and no play makes night shift a dull boy. If you know what I'm referencing there, you're awesome.
Yeah, The Shining.
How do you like it?
Yeah, that's the way we start off.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello to Cyberpunk Agorist and hello to no one who have joined us in the chat. I just tweeted it out, so hopefully we'll get a few more here.
So, how was everyone else's weekend?
Good so far.
It was pretty good. I obviously, as for those of you who saw the release time of my video this week, I ended up spending quite a bit of extra time getting that done. Fact checking a self-hating Jew took up a substantial portion of my weekend. But after that, I took a lady friend out to see the new Aladdin. That was a good time.
I don't spend a lot of time with my dad, but I did a lot of this weekend. We finally got the car working because my dad has an old 63 car. I can't remember exactly what the model is, but we finally took it out to a Sunday drive, and I don't care if it was on Saturday. And I love doing that with my dad. It's so nice doing that, and the car hasn't been working, so that was really nice. And I had to take Pikachu, so I'm happy.
Okay. Yes. And what was your assessment of the film?
It has some of its a little bit down moments. No, not every film is great, but honest to God, it is a really good film. And one thing I really like about it is the fact that I was watching it with my dad, and even my dad, who's not a Pokemon fan, doesn't understand anything about it, could understand it completely. There were some things he didn't understand, some jokes only Pokemon fans would get, which is why I was laughing. But even for someone like him who's not a fan at all, it still had such a great story into it that anyone can jump in and see it.
Okay.
But yes, overall,
I do, perhaps not in theaters. I do plan on seeing it. As you all know, I'm a major Pokemon fan. So, and Ryan Reynolds is hilarious. So I anticipate it's probably worth it.
Hey, 2 cents. What was your favorite of the Pokemon animated movies?
Of the my favorite of the Pokemon animated movies. Okay, well, all right, let's go through them. So first we have Pokemon the first movie with Mewtwo. Then it was Pokemon 2000 with Lugia. The one with Entei, I forget what that one was called, but Entei and the Unknown. Let's see.
That's not how far I went. Those 3 movies.
Okay, those are the 3 I remember hitting theaters. They have had others since. I'm gonna go with Pokemon 2000 just because Lugia is awesome.
Oh,
But
Pokemon, the first movie.
Although plot-wise, Pokemon the first movie.
That movie was the first movie that made me cried.
I've never cried in a film, even like any anime stuff. I've never cried.
Yeah, well, I was 5, or actually more like 9.
I would have to say, goddamn, how do you read that? Rise of the Darkrai? That one's my favorite. I really like that one.
I see in chat, Hunter has said this is the last stream he can make for 6 to 7 months. All right, well, I guess whatever you're doing for 6 to 7 months, good luck with it. Thanks for being here.
Mine was definitely Pokemon 3. Pokemon 3, the Spell of the Unknown was my favorite.
Okay.
Oh, that was good too.
Mainly because, in my opinion, it's the magnum opus of the series. It's like the best one like story-wise, plot-wise. It just seemed like a really great entry into the whole thing.
Okay, you know, I agree. I agree. You know what? Have you ever heard the theory about that movie? About the storybook theory?
What?
Okay, at the beginning of that movie, Molly's dad is reading to her from a storybook.
Oh yeah.
And it basically it was like a gaze into the future for all the coming Pokemon generations, because that was during Generation 3. So the only games that have been released to that point were Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver. But in the book you see the Entei, but then you see the Unknown and like an old man, and the theory is that the old man is Arceus, and that's Generation 4. And then after that, you see a fairy in front of a tree, and that was Generation 6 because the fairy type was introduced in Generation 6. And then he turns the page, and it's like some kind of tropical scene in the sun. There's a face in the sun, and they say that's Sun and Moon, and that was Solgaleo.
Didn't they have fairy? Well, I guess you wouldn't really call it fairy type in Generation 1. But they have Clefairy?
Yeah, Clefairy, but she was normal.
Yeah, it was a normal type.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, kind of on the same topic of that, what's your favorite generation? Mine is Diamond and Pearl. That's what I started with, and that is what I still love the most.
Generation 2.
Yeah,
the remake of Generation 2.
I'd say Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as Scorch just said, the remake of Generation 2. That one was pretty good as far as game quality. I did like Generation 6 because it gave us Mega Evolution. All-time favorite. Yeah, I'll probably have to go, like Scorch said, the Heart Gold, Soul Silver. They got to remake the Johto region and add Mega Evolution, and then that'll be the best one.
Yes, please. Pokemon Go 2. The next Pokemon Go game needs to be
the Pokemon Let's Go. I've heard a rumor that it's going to be Pokemon Let's Go Meryl, Let's Go Togepi, and then that'll be the...
I want to kind of clarify what I said. I meant in the anime. I didn't know, and I've not played the games, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
But the answers for you guys is on that stuff.
Okay. As far as anime, I can't say I've watched that as... when I was a child and the anime first came out, I watched it religiously. I can't say I've kept up with the anime the entire time. But I haven't. I've at least watched some here or there. I'll say it, in any season that still had Brock, because if you ask me, once Brock was kicked off the show, the series took a nosedive.
Yeah, that's
you could say that, but I think, well, in regards of like X and Y and up, one thing I like is the fact that all the times beforehand you'd see as either Brock or Brock would kind of be the more adult character of Ash and kind of like the group, but during X and Y, he kind of became more the adult kind of character in the group. And that's something I really do enjoy. I was actually really hoping for so long that, yes, he looks older. He's acting older. He still acts kiddish, but maybe for once he's not 10. And then Sun and Moon came and you crushed my soul. But no, I don't like XY either. I do. I have seen my brother play a lot of that game though. So I have to say, in terms of games, I really like X and Y for the games.
Yeah. Well, let's face, when you say Ash went back to being a kid in Sun and Moon, let's face it. If Ash actually aged along with the series, he'd be like 30 now. So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Be my age.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Okay. Mag, it seems you've been challenged. G Devil says that Pokemon is the decline of Western civilization. And to substantiate this, he says just listen to Mag talk.
Jeez.
I am actually. Wait, I'm so confused.
I'm looking in the chat. G Devil said first that Pokemon is the decline of Western civilization. He was challenged by Cyberpunk Agorist to back that up with a fact, and he said listen to Mag talk.
Oh, that's harsh.
It is indeed harsh, but I do not censor opinion. So, G Devil,
okay,
you are entitled to your opinion.
But what does he mean by fall of Western civilization? I don't understand.
No.
I'd say if you look at modern Western civilization, there are a lot worse things than Pokemon dragging it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, true.
We're building buildings as melting cars.
Yes.
Well, I
Pokemon
mean, if you want the... Oh, go ahead.
I could say this. Pokemon can, in fact, teach the value of hard work. You have to actually catch the Pokemon and train. And, defeat all the gym leaders. You don't just get to go to the Elite Four for existing.
Yeah. I will say if you wanna see the worst universe to live in, I don't care if it's popular, I think it's the worst anime universe to live in because of the fact that it's never in peace. The world's never not in danger. Dragon Ball. Oh my god.
Really?
The earth is always getting destroyed. The civilizations, the cities are always getting blown up. It's never peaceful. I don't care how popular
I
that
thought you were
thing
gonna say
is.
Attack on Titan. I thought you were going to say Attack on Titan there for a second.
They still have at least their civilization in the walls before the Titans came in.
Yeah, Dragon Ball, you can just be walking around and your planet blows up because of a fight across the street.
Yeah.
And then
Damn it, Goku!
and then 30 minutes later you come back and you still remember the horrors of being blown up with your planet.
Well, here's something on the point of Dragon Ball. I'm gonna admit I was never into Dragon Ball as much as Pokemon. I saw I only saw up through where they fight Cell, but
Yeah.
there was a movie I had, a VHS tape when I was a kid, and it was the story of Trunks' future. Basically,
I remember that.
the timeline where Goku does in fact die and Trunks grows up in a world without Trunks is the only Saiyan left, and
Trunks.
he's like 20 he's like 20 years old or something, and Goku, Krillin, all those guys died in the war with the androids, and now it's 15 years later. But the world actually seems to be relatively peaceful because the androids don't necessarily want to kill everybody. They're just like flying around from city to city, bored, blowing stuff up, but they always leave enough people alive that there's still somebody to blow up later on. So despite the fact that Trunks is the only one who survives and goes on to fight the androids, the world ended up looking more peaceful because without everybody else.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
By the way, I'm so happy you said that because I remember having that VHS and that just made me feel so happy.
Okay.
The nostalgia is so good.
Indeed.
I love VHS movies. I love them so much. I don't care if I have the same thing on disc. There's an experience of taking the VHS and putting it into the thing and having to rewind it.
Yes.
Go to the beginning, yes. Especially when they're in black and white. I love black and white films.
Same. I know. I kind of miss VHS films myself, even though they were kind of a pain. I just miss that. There's just something nostalgic about VHS tapes that I miss.
I didn't grow up with disc. Unlike most people in my generation, my family didn't have a disc player, so that's what I grew up with. So it's part of my childhood too.
Same.
And I always remember it.
Did you watch The Artist?
Huh?
The movie The Artist, which was shot in black and white and no audio. I thought it was a really good film.
I bet it is, but I live under a rock when it comes to I can't speak. Two regards of a lot of films. Oh my god.
I gotcha.
I will say one thing I love when it comes to even when it's cartoon black and white films, one thing I love so much is they had to put so much dedication and time, and you could see the passion in the films because they take a lot of work to make those films back then, especially animation films. They were so good because the stories are usually good, the animation, it's not the greatest when you compare it today, but if you see from what it's back then, you could just see the passion pouring through the films, and I love it.
Well,
they actually care.
You have a point there, Meg. When classic animation took a lot of work, whereas today they can computer generate and make it go really fast. Like in those classic Disney films that are all animated, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, like every single one of those shots had to be hand drawn entirely. And just when you think about how much work that was, it took a lot of work to make animated movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here. On that note, who here likes playing Cuphead?
Oh my god, I've not actually played it, but I've seen what the creators actually had to do when they made it. Didn't they have to make every single individual ending? They drew it, and they had to make every single ending that you could, every attack and whatever, they used to do with films. Am I correct on that?
I'm not totally sure on that one.
They put a lot of work into that film, but. Yes, I like Cuphead for style. The fact that it's reminiscing back to the older days. And yes.
I do.
It's hard as hell, though. Oh my god. That's why I'll never pick it up because it's so hard.
I've only played Cuphead once for a very short period of time.
It was good. No, it's good though.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh jeez.
All right.
One thing I find, sorry, I just had this on my head. One thing I find funny is the fact that you will never see, like, maybe it was back in, like, the setting they're trying to have of Cuphead, but you will never see a kid be able to go into a casino and gamble. You'll never see
only
that.
in Capistan. Only in Capistan.
Yes. Olean and
Even then, I
Capistan.
don't really think, I don't think they'll let them, to be honest.
Oh.
Anyway, what were you gonna say, 2 cents?
Oh no, I was just about to. I was taking a look at the chat and seeing what's going back and forth.
Okay.
Cyberpunk Agorist asks, "Did you guys at least get past the tutorial?" Are you referring to Cuphead Cyberpunk or?
Oh.
Okay.
Cuphead tutorial? That wasn't that hard.
Okay. I'm not quite sure what he was referring to.
There was
It's
a
probably
game journalist.
the game.
There was a game journalist that couldn't pass the tutorial, and they gave the game a bad rating. It says the worst game ever because they couldn't get past the tutorial.
What?
That's stupid.
That is so dumb. Oh my god. Ugh.
All right, so I'm currently looking through my Twitter feed right now to find something at least semi-serious to talk about. Who here has seen the AOC Mini-Me?
Oh, Mini AOC, yes. Love that.
No.
Love that whole thing.
No, I have not.
Okay, well, I'll look it up later, but this girl, I'm not sure, she's probably like 10 or something, but she puts on a pair of glasses and she looks like reasonably like AOC, and this makes this hilarious parody of how, basically illustrating how stupid AOC sounds.
Yeah.
But if I had a big enough channel that I could invite her onto my show, onto a stream, I absolutely would.
Wait, what do you mean by OC? I'm confused.
AOC.
Mini-Me AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, okay. Because when you say OC, I think original character, so I was
AOC.
really confused.
Okay.
The artist
AOC.
brain being confused.
Original character. Can't say I've... When I hear OC, I think of Orange County. Anyways, AOC.
In the art community, they make their own original characters, and they call them OCs. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I guess you being a more active member of the art community probably know that. Nicholas Dorito, thank you for your super chats, although I don't think you actually chatted anything. Although I would read your chat, but thank you for it anyways.
Question.
Yes.
You said you were $10 short, and I'm talking about the Patreon or whatever stuff. You said you were $10 short. I gave you a 20. Are you up to your thing now, or what's up with that?
Oh, I guess it was $200 per month is the goal. So you gave me a tip, which I'm grateful for, but that wouldn't count. Okay, that would not count towards. I mean, Mag, if you really want me to make a regular 2 day with 2 cents for this next month, I will. Since you know what, I'll make at least one this next month. Since you did give me a $10 tip, thank you very much. But the goal was specifically monthly donations totaling $200 or more.
Yeah, you said we can like put our own thing for the monthly thing. I didn't know how to do that, and I saw that option, so I went with that.
Okay.
But thank you, though.
You're welcome. I will go ahead and do that then. We'll bring back the regular 2 day with 2 cents at least once this next month, thanks to Mag's tips.
That will also give for like, because you if I remember correctly, some of your viewers were saying they actually prefer the live stream, so you can kind of have a side-by-side comparison to the ones you do live to ones you've actually edited and see which ones people actually like more.
Mm-hmm. That's true, and
yeah.
I'll say the regular ones definitely got more views, but the people who come out for the live streams then definitely enjoy it more. And the like every 2 day with 2 cents without fail got demonetized. The streams don't necessarily. So,
that's good.
I mean, I've generally found a common trend. Economics videos are usually pretty good about not being demonetized. Gun control videos always get demonetized. International issues almost always get demonetized. Or than anything religious / lifestyle tend to get the videos I made about feminism always get demonetized.
Yeah.
such a load of crap.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Question. I haven't heard too much about it. Whatever happened to? I think it was called BitChute. I haven't heard too much
BitChute?
about that.
I mean, my videos are still uploading automatically to BitChute. I've found my audience there hasn't really been growing. I do have a few that definitely watch the videos, but
yeah, I haven't heard much talk about that in a while.
I mean, I just I was really working hard for a while there, trying to expand my channel onto other platforms. I was uploading to Facebook, Dailymotion, BitChute, and I was exhausted. All the extra time it took to get that stuff uploaded was just too much. So I've stuck with I upload to YouTube. It automatically gets uploaded to BitChute, but then Dailymotion, Facebook, I couldn't keep up all the extra work it took to get it up there. So
I'm surprised YouTube would actually let you do that. Oh, we're gonna expand other I'm surprised YouTube is letting you expand onto other platforms. You'd think it wouldn't let you do that.
Mm-hmm. I know BitTube is another one that Shane Killian's been promoting pretty hard. I started a channel over there, and and it's like BitChute. It's easy to migrate your videos from YouTube, but it doesn't happen automatically. You have to do it. You still have to go over there and click. So I've kind of fallen behind on getting those mirrored over there as well.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm. Nicholas Dorito, again, thank you. I see he said he got 99 cents from YouTube Premium, which he saved for the chat. I appreciate it a lot.
Yay.
You guys make this channel possible. That's why I do this for y'all. So really appreciate the support.
And you were, I'm just going to say this. You're one of my favorite ANCAP YouTubers, and I don't watch the news anymore. I watch you.
Well, that makes me feel very good.
Yeah,
Same.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'll do my best to keep putting out good content and staying free from YouTube drama. So,
frankly, dude, you're better than Dapperton. Had to say it.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's gonna spark some fire.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Although I will always be grateful to Daps for the help he's given me in building my platform. So you'll never hear me speak a foul word of Dapperton.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Does it mean he and I agree on everything? No, but he's been pretty fair-minded about mirroring my content, even if he doesn't necessarily agree with everything I say. So,
right. Oh,
I've talked so much today. I don't have any more words anymore.
Okay. No problem.
I talked so much before this.
If there's anything else on anybody's mind, great. If not, like I said, I'll generally I just turn to the Twitter feed and something worth discussing comes up. Or if anybody's got anything in the chat box they want to talk about, by all means.
Did we talk about on previous? I wasn't here for last stream, but did we talk about the new white supremacy symbol, the hashtag?
Yes, that just came out. The hashtag is now if you cut it in half, it's 2 H's, so it's Heil Hitler.
If that's actually going to end up being a thing, things are never going to be shared anymore.
Okay.
Rip Twitter.
I'm just gonna say, like this is gonna be a rant, and if anybody if any of them are watching, it'll probably start some YouTube drama. But this is my 2 cents, and you can take it for what it's worth. Essentially, the whole white supremacist thing. So back in 2016, when Richard Spencer first, coined the term alt-right, he got a lot of screen time on CNN, Al Jazeera, a bunch of others. And they really came into the spotlight, as it were. Now it seems to me, though, like I follow Richard Spencer on Twitter. He has, ever since his personal problems with his divorce and whatnot, he seems to have fallen out of the spotlight. And most of the people his hardcore followers are just the one. And like I said, this is my opinion. I'm sure there are people who will disagree and say, no, that's not the case. This is what I've seen. So this is my opinion. But most of his followers have devolved into this kind of, we post swastikas and stuff on the internet, whereas the few mainstream alt-right, like white supremacist types, the ones that were really publishing a lot and getting news time, you don't hear much about them anymore. At least not in mainstream media sources. So, of course, I'm not one to talk. I got a small YouTube channel. I'm just saying that white supremacy has become. Well, and I say all that because I feel like there are real white supremacists like Richard Spencer, the alt-right, those folks. But as far as the media is concerned, white supremacy is just anybody who's slightly right of Karl Marx. So,
one thing I can't understand, when people make these stupid things like I think it's called the OK sign and then the hashtag now, it's just making it so more people know about them. And second, you're just making yourself look like an idiot.
yeah.
Like, wasn't that
True.
the original point of doing the OK like that? Like, didn't someone actually do that to see how stupid and how much they could just believe whatever?
Yeah, the 4chan.
Damn it.
It was a troll on 4chan just trying to see if the mainstream media would pick it up, which they absolutely did. I wouldn't be
So stupid.
I have not read a single article about this hashtag thing because I honestly don't care. But
I don't either.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was another 4chan.
Pretty sure it is.
I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again. White supremacy has the greatest appeal to any kind of these racial identitarian groups is people who are basically losers. Because if you can't take pride in your own accomplishments, the only thing you can do is try to take pride in other people's accomplishments, which, of course, white supremacy gives you the perfect excuse. I'm a member of the white race. The white race did this. The white race did that, even though I live on my mother's couch and never did anything with my life.
Yeah.
Yep. Something I just thought of is
Yes.
which site is more, I guess you'd call, cancerous, Tumblr or DeviantArt? I think DeviantArt
Tumblr.
is on the servants okay, but when you start revealing the layers, it gets really, really weird.
No, it's Tumblr. Tumblr is definitely more cancerous than DeviantArt by far.
I don't know if I've looked at Tumblr in like 3 years now, so I wouldn't know about that.
I had
DeviantArt.
I had a phase where when I kind of just looked on there, so then I was like, the site is still cancerous, but I'll look at this one thing, and then I got over that one thing. Won't say what it was though.
You know, here on another note, like I said, I do follow Richard Spencer on Twitter. I saw today, I think it was either today or yesterday, he said that of the upcoming candidates in the election, Joe Biden was like the biggest one he favored. So I'm just going to say for the record, when he endorsed Donald Trump, you know, he got even more news media attention when he endorsed Donald Trump because all the liberal media outlets are like, white supremacist endorses Donald Trump. Now he absolutely hates Trump if you look at the kind of things he's been tweeting. And he said, like, so far Biden is the best candidate. I don't see any mainstream media outlets saying white supremacist endorses Joe Biden.
Of course.
Oh, shoot.
Well, didn't you say that he kind of fell out of the media? So maybe
Well,
no one
yeah,
knows
but
about
he did. I don't know if I don't think they care anymore. Just
Yeah.
Let's face it. I'm pretty sure he'd get back into the media if he endorsed anyone on the political right. Which he wouldn't. Which I don't think he'd do because if you all the interviews I've ever listened to him, he's basically he's basically Bernie Sanders plus white supremacy.
What?
So yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Makes sense.
Cyberpunk Agra says, "Is Tumblr still active?" Yeah, I don't know. Never looked at it, but I guess it is because Nitro says it's cancerous.
It's been dying, from what I understand, it's been dying a lot more lately because they're kind of like they're honing
cracking
down.
porn.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I was on there for a while, but just because you'd see a lot of that. But now they're really cracking down, and now all those people kind of just moved to Twitter,
Yeah.
from what I understand. But it's kind of been dying a lot more lately.
You said that's why, Mag. You just said
Well,
that's why
I am not getting into why. No.
Okay, because that's first you say there's a bunch of porn on there, and then you say that's why I was on there.
Deduction.
I am not getting into why.
Okay, you know, actually, I see in the chat, Conservative California actually brought up something that I think is worthy of discussion. I am not ashamed to admit, as a young child, Arthur was one of my favorite TV shows. And yes, Conservative California, I did see the news story that in its 22nd season, apparently Arthur posted they now had an episode where Mr. Ratburn is gay and got married to a dude. Now,
The gay wedding.
yeah. And I also saw the state of Alabama banned it because the local PBS station said that they felt they would be betraying their parents, the parents' trust if they aired that episode. And I say, good on them for that. Now, my opinion, kids do not need, like, regardless of what position you take on the issue of same-sex marriage, homosexuality, anything like that, those are not topics that young kids need to have shoved down their throats.
I'd agree.
Yep.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it seems.
I believe that because kids are being shoved down their throats, maybe that's why a lot more people think that they are. In reality, it's just a freaking act.
Well,
Or they make them question themselves. When you're a kid, you're supposed to be playing outside, going with being with friends. No, let's hike each other all on iPads and whatever stuff. Go watch our TV of this guy doing whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids don't need this, and it's sad that so many kids of this generation are just being. I can't speak.
and the thing is, kids let kids be kids and play and have fun and be kids. For example, like, suppose when a bunch of 5-year-olds are playing a game, and one of the girls wants to pretend in their game they're playing. One of the girls is pretending to be a guy, and one of the guys is pretending to be a girl. I chalk that up to kids being kids and playing, not that those two just showed signs that they might be transgender, which is what public schools are teaching these days.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if when they grow, I'm willing to accept perhaps there are some children that always felt like they were the wrong sex inside a man or a woman's mind inside the opposite body, and that stayed with them even when they grew up. Does that happen in some cases? Fine, I'm willing to grant it happens in some cases, but how many? But when activists are saying, well, more and more kids are now identifying as homosexual or as transgender or whatever the prevalent orientation of the day is, do you think that's because they really are that and always were, or do you think it's because they're having this stuff shoved down their throats and they're kids and they don't know how to deal with it, so they're just going with what they see as what everybody's telling them they're supposed to do? Or if kids are playing games and the girls are pretending to be guys and the guys are pretending to be girls, and their teachers tell them you might be transgender, and they're like, well, I don't know, like, they're just kids, so they don't know what to do with that. I mean, for goodness sakes, let kids be kids.
The kids don't let kids. When I want to say, I don't know. God damn, I cannot speak today. Let kids be kids and don't have them have to suffer through adult stuff. They don't need to be philosophical, figuring themselves out yet. They'll do that when they're 13 plus. Let them do that when you're a teenager and have to worry about every little thing they're doing. And something else, God damn it, my brain, I keep forgetting everything I'm saying.
Oh, good.
But yeah, and I see in the chat people are pointing out, kids the state is taking over every aspect of education. It's not just the public schools anymore. I mean, even they were even doing it earlier. But it's getting much more overt now. Even children's television, children's entertainment is meant to push political messages. The whole thing being, if you control the education of the younger generation, you control the political views of the adult population in 20 years. So
I just remembered what I was going to say. I am the perfect example to where, I wanted to play as boy stuff. That doesn't mean that I'm actually a boy. I was a huge tomboy, hated dressing like a girl, would always play sports with the guys, always would play games with the guys. I hated anything to do with girly stuff. And I always told myself I was never going to be that way. And look how I ended up. When I became a teenager, I started actually liking that kind of stuff. I actually liked taking care of myself, looking nice, giving a heck about how my appearance. So that people used to consider when girls wanted to act like guys or guys wanted to like in girly stuff. I don't know what the guys one would be called, but I know for girls it was considered tomboy. Can we have that back, please? It's a phase.
Yeah, Johns Hopkins University did a study about this, and what they found is that in 80% of cases, children who experience some form of gender dysphoria no longer experience it once they've gone through puberty. But especially in the case of young boys, the boys who identify as girls who have not yet gone through puberty are told that they need to be put on hormone blockers so that they don't go through puberty, and they're warned, you might, like, if you go through puberty, it'll be harder for you to look like a girl. All the while they're not being told that, dude, if you just let yourself go through puberty, odds are you're gonna feel like a boy when it's over. And their parents, their misguided parents and teachers put them on these hormone blockers so that they don't go through puberty, and then it's at that point the damage is done. So even once they're mature, and again,
This should be a crime against children.
It is a crime against children, and it's the thing where the reason that it's so abhorrent to try and talk about a child consenting to sexual activity is the fact that when you're a child, you cannot. If you can't understand what you're consenting to, you can't truly consent. And a child who has not yet gone through puberty does not yet have the mental fortitude to understand the long-term consequences of those kinds of actions. And if it's much in the same way, if it's abuse for an adult to try to do something like that with a child, then I say it is abuse for an adult to try to encourage a child to go through a procedure like that, or take on these hormone blockers that will have very long-term, very real consequences for them when in their current state they can't possibly understand those long-term consequences.
I agree.
Well, the last thing I don't know if we should talk about this the entire time. There's just something I kind of thought of. Isn't it very high that there's a lot of pedophiles in the gay community or stuff like that? Yeah.
I don't want to unfairly smear the community in that. I certainly know there are homosexual groups who have actively spoken out against that. What I will say is there have been at least several prevalent cases I've seen where the homosexual community has failed to condemn that community. In particular, I know there was. That up. I think it's fine. I would have told you not to use that word because it inevitably get this stream demonetized, and it probably will. But in any case, I know in San Francisco there was I think it was in 2012, there was a pro LGBT parade, and they let NAMBLA, several of the prominent LGBT groups let NAMBLA march with them, and the National Man Boy Love Association.
I don't know if it's still a thing, but does anyone remember that trans kid that also? No, it wasn't trans. Desmond. It was what?
Well, Desmond, the drag kid.
Yeah, that kid.
He calls himself Lactatia.
Yeah, that doesn't help your case. Is all I'm going to say. It doesn't help.
And when they got him stripping in a bar and people throwing money at him, it's abhorrent.
It is.
And listening to I watched the video where it showed the kid and his mom and his mother, and she's like, we're an accepting, and he lives with a single mother. Go figure. But she says, what, I'm just an accepting person, and I really want him to experience everything about himself. And he says, I feel like a boy most of the time, but this girl, which he calls Lactatia. Which where did he get the idea to call his female alter ego Lactatia? Who taught him that?
Really?
But yeah, and if you've seen him interact with his fans, he's so rude. He's absolutely rude.
But the other thing that thinks in my mind, he said he feels like a boy sometimes, and he feels like this girl in drag the other times. Suppose after he goes through puberty, he discovers this was just a phase, and he really does feel like a boy. Unfortunately for him, the internet never forgets. For the rest of his life, that part of his history has pretty much been solidified for him now. And there's not going to be any kind of when he grows up, whatever he wants to do. You think potential employers aren't going to find that stuff about him when they do background checks?
Yeah.
His mother has not potentially. I firmly believe even if he still has whatever these feelings are when he's an adult, he's going to realize that these actions he took as a child have permanently altered the course for his life, and there's nothing he can do about it. And he's going to ask his mother, why didn't you warn me? Why'd you let me do this?
Or he's just going to get so wrapped up in that community that he's just going to love it.
Exactly. And, one thing that is unfortunate, but something like I don't remember the exact statistic, but more than 90% of adults who abuse children were themselves abused as children. So
Yeah.
it's a cycle that just perpetuates itself.
Yeah.
I mean, that for the record, I'm not saying that excuses doing it. Just because it was done to you does not give you the right to do it to others. But still,
No.
but still, it makes it all the more sad when you understand that. I mean, there's pretty good evidence that there's connection between that you becoming that way if that was done to you as a child. So you're just
There's a
perpetuating the
strong
cycle.
correlation.
Yeah, there is a strong correlation. Yeah.
Something else I kind of just thought of is don't get me wrong, I love memes. It's a thing that makes me happy at the end of the night. But one, I hate how this generation is just full of kids just being on their iPads and whatever stuff. But something I really do not want kids to be on is on memes, because that will, if it gets really popular, that will surround them for the rest of their lives. The most embarrassing picture will be just engraved in your history for the rest of your life. And I don't think children should have to go through that, especially when you have to try to get a job and that's going to be in your name. Granted, memes die, of course they do, but like that's always going to stay with you, whether you want it to or not. Whether it's only just you thinking about it or not, you're going to have that for the rest of your life. And I don't think children should have to go through that. If you're an adult, you're choosing to do that.
Mm-hmm. Manny K-Bill says, not to mention the March for Our Lives and climate change, parading kids around as propaganda tools. Absolutely. On the subject of climate change,
there was like these kids holding the sign, and they could barely form sentences. Oh God!
Everyone noticed how it used to be called global warming, and now it's just climate change.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
and think about that. Is the climate? History shows for the past 4 billion years, or whatever the case may be, the planet's climate has been changing. So by definition, climate change is going to occur. So pretty much by choosing that title, they've guaranteed that no matter what happens, they can say they were right. After all, the climate changed.
Yep.
And before all that, it used to be a global.
It's raining in April. I mean, it's raining in May. Climate change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the think of the children fallacy, Libertopa, Eurekan Anarch says.
Babies on bayonets.
Yeah, they're also Cyberpunk Aggro says they're also calling it extreme weather patterns. Exactly. If there was a hurricane, it was caused by global warming. If there's a tornado, it must have been caused by global warming. If it gets colder, it must be global warming. Or excuse me, climate change, because it got colder.
If Kim Kardashian gets divorced, it's caused by global warming.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
Funny. So I'm sure you all know I've used enough jokes in the past, but I watched South Park. Who has seen that one where I think it's Stan and Cartman wreck a beaver dam and it floods the city?
We didn't listen.
Yes, and then the scientists get on TV and say it was caused by global warming.
Yeah.
Global warming is going to hit 2 days before the day after tomorrow. Oh my God, that's today. Ah!
And everybody panics.
I also kind of feel like people just want to react over certain things. Like, I don't remember it that much because I was a little too young to remember, but like people were very much reacting for like 2000 stuff, and then in 2012, and now there's this. I'm not saying everything's related, but like, does everyone just want something to react to because our lives are so boring? You have nothing to do and you want something to do. I want to be mad at something instead of ignoring my miserable existence of a life. That's just sad.
Yeah. Well, when the state is the thing taking away your freedom, you got to create a boogeyman for everybody to focus their.
Oh, no wonder so many statists believe in that.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
As the state is siphoning away your freedoms, you got to be able to point at somebody else and say, no, it's not us, it's them. They're taking away your freedom. Climate change is taking away your freedom.
Yeah.
The Jews are taking away your freedom. Pick your boogeyman of the day. But they've always got some nebulous, poorly defined group of people who are taking away your freedom. The white supremacists are taking away your freedom.
Yeah. Yep. God is taking away my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something like totally unrelated? I just thought of this.
What?
Okay, so you guys know the Sonic trailer, right? And I know it's like already been changed or whatnot, but do you guys remember what it looked like, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
How would you guys feel instead of Sonic? It was very derpy Knuckles. I would actually be okay with that. I know the meme is dead, but I would be okay with that. Have the meme as weird and derpy as you want. Like that would be okay. If they had Knuckles and like the derpy Knuckles instead of Sonic.
Yeah, Uganda Knuckles. Yeah.
Yes. I would be okay with that.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I have feelings about that one.
There actually art where people have actually done that. And all I could think of is when the guy opens the door and then he sees him, and all I could think of is, "Do you know the way?" Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Now here's something to discuss. Since they're in the business of remaking nostalgic movies from everyone's childhood these days, what is something that has not yet been remade that you think they should make into a movie?
Oh, Never-Ending Story.
Okay.
I've been waiting for that for years.
You know something that will never be remade, but it's still like a very famous movie?
What?
Pinocchio. That will never be made into a live action.
I don't know. I wouldn't put Disney beyond it. I haven't heard anything about that one yet.
Okay, if they did, they would majorly censor it, and it would have no meaning as is. It was in the original.
Well, they already kind of did do some Pinocchio-ish things in Once Upon a Time, and they were great.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever see that show, Once Upon a Time?
Yes. Oh, yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, they actually did some like Pinocchio themed stuff in that show, and it was pretty damn awesome. So
it was more of a darker themed movie or TV show, rather.
Libertopa says Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes, I know a movie 2 cents would absolutely love to be made into a live action.
Oh,
what's that? Little Mermaid.
Well, and it's coming. It's coming.
It is actually coming.
Yep.
That one's what?
They've not yet announced who's playing Ariel, but they better pick somebody good. So.
Yeah, I bet.
Right now.
Okay.
Would you be opposed to Jennifer Lawrence playing Ariel?
Yes.
Why?
She's too. Well, let me put it this way. It's been appropriately said that if you could have the most beautiful body in the world, but if you have an ugly soul, I think Scorch, you were the one who recently used this. You said you can have the most beautiful body in the world, but you have an ugly soul. I can never look past that. Everything I've seen of Jennifer Lawrence, she's a total. You know what word I'm thinking of.
Then who would you pick? Who would you want to be the beautiful, glorious Ariel?
Let me think. Who is the
most and also include the sisters. She got like 6 sisters, if I remember correctly.
She does have like 6 sisters. Who would I pick to be Ariel of all actresses right now? I'm trying to think if there are any gorgeous redheads that are acting at the moment.
They're probably going to put a wig on them anyway.
That's true. I guess she doesn't necessarily have to be a natural redhead.
Actually, going back to Once Upon a Time, they had a pretty good Ariel character. They had a pretty good girl playing Ariel in Once Upon a Time.
She was all right.
Joanna Garcia Swisher or something like that. That was her name. And she was actually pretty awesome as not Belle. Ariel.
Okay.
She was pretty awesome as Ariel. I would not be opposed to seeing her maybe as Ariel in the movie. Maybe.
Okay. I'm trying to look at honestly, I'm not I'm trying to think of actresses. I'm more in tune with the names of models than I'm actresses, as you might imagine. Of
course.
But, let's see. So on a separate topic, because like for example, Emma Watson playing Belle. Emma Watson is gorgeous, but she's kind of in line with Jennifer Lawrence in that she's got an ugly soul. So I was okay with her being Belle, but still, it kind of bugged me.
All I know is that I've heard rumors that Jennifer Lawrence is going to be playing Ariel.
You've heard rumors? Okay, yeah, I don't like that, but whatever.
Hey, guys, some in the group chat, some people want to talk about something.
Okay, hang on, let me check.
Kind of late now. But...
Here's something they can sooner or later react to: the collapse of the U.S. dollar.
Yes.
Well, we've talked about that in a lot of previous streams, but yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon. I can say Peter Schiff has been covering this pretty closely on his podcast, but you can see the actions the Fed is taking right now show that they are desperate to try and stop the dollar from collapsing. Remains to be seen how long they can keep it going, but
Everyone invest in crypto while you can, because it's only going to go up.
Nicholas Doritos says Daisy Ridley, the girl who played Ray. I wouldn't be opposed to that. She's cute. I feel like I almost feel like whoever they pick, I would want to be kind of an unused actress, that this would be her first major role. Because if you pick someone who's already got, because at least then it would be before she said or did anything stupid, so that it wouldn't taint my view of the movie.
Actually, I would have.
Yeah, but you know it won't be.
Yeah,
I would have almost picked Daisy Ridley to be Belle.
I could have seen that. I could, yeah.
Would have been a better pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Collapse of the U.S. dollar.
So,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you guys known what's going on with the Stockton Police Department?
Nope.
What happened?
Stockton Police Department.
Stockton?
Stockton.
Elaborate for us.
They posted on their social media accounts about how they proudly confiscated a AR and called it an assault weapon. But if you check out the ratio, everyone is dissing them like crazy.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
There's so much hate about it.
I bet.
I'm trying to find it. Stockton,
Honestly,
California.
Yep.
Honestly, who thinks we're going to see a civil war before we're going to see the dollar collapse?
I think one will happen because of the other. I don't know which order it's going to be, but I think one's going to be a result of the other, or one's going to come as a result.
Yeah,
I can't speak.
I'd say it's going to be worse in communities where everybody is armed. It's going to be a lot more peaceful.
probably.
In
Yeah.
communities where most people aren't, it's going to be crazy.
That's why I want out of here. I'm scared.
Okay. Brad Stagg suggested Amy Adams to play Ariel. She is gorgeous, although I think she's probably a little old to play Ariel at this point.
Mm-hmm. Although, why don't we think about it from this perspective? Who has the greatest singing voice?
Ooh, yeah.
Because
you want Ariel to have a singing voice, right?
A central aspect to Ariel's character and to mermaids in general is that they have beautiful voices. Granted, because of auto-tune, that's not really an issue anymore. But
yeah, but you like when it's natural.
I was gonna say it sounds way better when it's natural talent.
yes, that's
nice
true.
and natural.
And I'm saying, having seen Aladdin this weekend, I don't know if the actor and actress who played Aladdin and Jasmine are natural singers, but the remake of A Whole New World was very, very good.
That's good.
And the actress who played Jasmine is gorgeous. But
how was that movie? You don't give spoilers, but how was it?
Okay, I won't give spoilers. I won't give spoilers. But I liked it. I thought it was like some of these Disney remakes they've done. It was similar enough to the original that you had the nostalgia. It was just different enough that it wasn't exactly the same movie. I will say Robin Williams, bless his soul, it was a very unique talent. His rendition of the genie was hilarious, and Will Smith did not even come close to that. But I respected the fact Will Smith, I think, understood that Robin Williams' humor is unique, and he couldn't copy that, so he really just remade the character in his image, which wasn't as funny, but at the same time, it would have been worse if he was trying to fake Robin Williams' humor.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I saw when a lot of people were kind of upset, like either from the look of Genie or who was going to be playing Genie. I've seen that actor before, and I actually was going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I know he would be able to do good. I could see a lot of people just hating that Robin Williams not playing Genie, like they're going to automatically hate that character. But I've seen him play other movies before, and I know he's pretty good and funny, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Will Smith is a pretty good actor.
Mm-hmm. I thought he did a good job. He made the character his own, and it was
well, that's all you can ask of an actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
And in each of the songs that Genie sings, like there was a little rap. He sang the songs like Robin Williams did, but he added like a bit of a rap element to each of them, which obviously made it very Will Smith-esque.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one be able to take long.
I don't want to sound like I'm ending it, but you don't like to go more than an hour, and we're already at 55.
Okay. Just quickly, I googled prominent redheaded actresses. The numbers, the ones that come up are Nicole Kidman, Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, Lindsay Lohan, Karen Gillan, Christina Hendricks, Isla Fisher, Allison Hannigan. Let's see, I'm pulling up more here. All those are definitely too old to play Ariel, though. Let's see who else.
I don't think they're gonna get someone. They're probably just gonna put a wig on it.
Alicia
You would have to anyway, just because Ariel's, even though she has red hair, it's not natural red hair, and you know it's gonna have to be that red hair.
Fiery red or
Hold on.
Yes.
orange.
I had a really good idea about who to play Ariel. Hold on. Just give me one
Okay.
second.
So, what's everyone's plan for the week?
Oh, I gotta work.
Work, eat, sleep.
Got to get my car. Okay. What about Sophia Lillis or whatever from It 2017?
Sophia Lillis.
Lillis. Yes. Sophia Lillis. I actually just was thinking about her, and I was thinking like, oh my God, she is a redhead. She's really young. She would be great to play Ariel in a remake.
Okay, all the pictures that are coming up, she's really young. Has she been anything recently?
Stephen King's It 2017. I think. Hold on. She's got to be like 18 now. I mean, I think she was like 16 when she played that part. So.
Okay.
I think she's 17 right now. She's 17 right now. She'd still be pretty good for the part, though, honestly. Because like, wasn't Ariel like 16?
Ariel 16. According to the movie, she's 16. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was about to ask. Are you asking for the original version? Or are you asking for the movie?
Yeah.
Because let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Never said how old Eric was though. So.
True.
Yeah.
And since he was a prince coming of age, so he was probably like 18, 20, something.
Yeah. I love how so much of this conversation, it's not all of it, but I love how so much of this conversation has just been talking about hot girls.
Yes.
Glorious.
It's the best conversation.
Meg, this is my channel. What'd you expect?
Exactly.
No, it's not just that. I'm in a group with all guys. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm. As I said, every channel has its vice. Mine is hot ladies.
Yeah.
I love it.
And for all the haters out there, I always get the comments like, "Oh, come on, you're so much better than this." Look, there are two kinds of men: those that admit they like looking at hot women, and those that don't. For those and to all those channels out there that see themselves as morally superior because you're so highly intellectual, you don't fill your channel with such carnal things. Get real. You know that when you're done making YouTube videos, you watch videos of hot girls. You might even watch them on my channel. You just don't admit it to your fans, so you can tuck it.
Yeah.
Bunch of moral purgatory.
Here's my thing. I don't mind if they don't have it. Like, if they want to keep that nice kind of G rating or at least have less of a chance of demonetization, good on them. Just don't pretend as if you're better because you're not doing it. That's just rude. Just don't.
Okay, someone in the chat just suggested Emilia Clarke for Ariel. I don't know who that is either. I'm Googling it. Oh, Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Redheaded Emilia Clarke, maybe.
I know.
Okay, I'm not ashamed to admit I have not seen
that.
I have never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones.
What? Actually, I'm going to say this. For the 7th and 8th season, the last two, you're kind of fortunate on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of went downhill. I've not seen season 8 for a reason.
Moving through all the Game of Thrones pictures, I've found a few pictures of Emilia Clarke where I can see, yeah, I actually can see her as Ariel, but not in the when she's dressed up as this blonde-haired girl.
Yeah.
Make her a redhead, and I can definitely see that.
Well, they probably will. But considering how popular that show is, I really wouldn't be surprised, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And something tells me you
I'm
would
gonna
love to see
screen
that
share this
character.
one I found. And
Wait,
just
what?
a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna screen share the one I just found.
Make sure to tag yourselves if we talk over it, they can see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's her.
I could see
When
that.
when I saw that
God.
one, I said, "Yeah, I can see her as Ariel." If you
Yeah.
consider that.
Amelia, my beautiful princess, come to me. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm actually kind of in love with Amelia Clark, and I know, but like every other guy's out there going like, who isn't?
Something
don't
tells
care.
me you would love to see her in the mermaid outfit.
Oh, you'd be right. You would be right about that. You'd be totally correct.
And I would too.
I third that motion. All right. Well, on that note, we have been going for an hour. Like I said, pretty chill stream, but I like to have these every now and then. Can't be all serious on this channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, thanks you guys for coming out. Thanks everybody in the chat. And if you would like to get in on, hang on just a second. One comment last came in. Brad Stagg says the actor who played the prince was 14. Brad Staggs, what movie are you referring to? The Little Mermaid? And I know there's
we
delay
talked
between
about
me
a lot
speaking.
of movies, so you're gonna have to clarify.
Yeah. But
I
I
just
think
thought, how would anyone like to see a live action of Leo and Stitch? I would love that.
Ooh.
Okay.
That
That
would
would
be
be
cool,
great.
actually.
I'm going to say, assuming he was talking with Little Mermaid, if the guy who played the prince was 14, then he did a darn good job of it, because that, as I recall, the prince's voice is somewhat deep.
Yeah.
You got that deep voice.
Okay. Well,
I can't do it deep.
If you'd like to get in on these conversations, both the weekly 2 Day with 2 Cents and this monthly, go ahead and pledge on Subscribestar or Patreon. As Mag alluded, we are about $10 a month as far as monthly donations away from reaching the $200 a month goal, in which I will start making the regular episodes of 2 Day with 2 Cents again. But we will have at least one up this coming month, thanks to Mag's additional tips and along with her pledge. So,
Yeah.
thanks everybody
We'll
for
call
being
it the tester.
All right. And as always, that is my 2 cents. So take it for what it's worth.